What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Now inside today's video, guys, we're going to be going over Guila here, being one of the few characters that I've actually grown a very strong liking to. I'm going to be explaining everything about her kit, as well as what I do believe is the best weapon for her. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get straight into it. So when it does come down to Guila, she's one of the few characters that I was initially not going to end up building, but I ended up taking a little bit more of a look into her kit, and she's honestly a well-rounded unit. She's a really good fire unit through and through, seeing that all 3 of her weapons are fire-based, but they all of course have their designated roles. Cool part about Guila is honestly every last one is pretty dang just viable. The one for the lance is obviously the DPS one. Sword and shield is more of a tankers type status here, and then the rapier is more of a buff slash debuff statuser as well. So it's kind of interesting to see exactly how this character does work here. The one I've been using the most has been the jet black rapier, and this one I do believe is honestly the best one. But before I get into why with this here, let's try to explain her entire kit with all the rest of them. So as I said before, the lance is more of a DPS side of things. You have a mixture of a little bit of everything here, where she is also able to go into her demon form and wreak absolute havoc. With at least her first passive being called Blazing Devil, she's able to gain something called an impulse, which increases her crit chance for every stack of her demon form. Now alongside of this here, if she does have the maximum number of the said impulse stacks, she can then take down her normal skill cooldown. Awesome, you always love this, especially when you're attacking an enemy with a fire burst, because it makes it go even quicker. That's always a good thing here. She has a couple different moves. One of them is honestly a long range move here as well, which is great, called Flame Cannon, and I do know the other one as well is pretty darn useful, being Shot Bombs, both of which do change inside of the demon form here based on their percentages and then based on whatever is happening. So if there is a fire burst going on in the demon form, the shot burst is going to be, or shot bomb is going to be really decent. When there is a fire burst or a demon form as well happening with the flame cannon, the normal skill cooldown is getting decreased as long as you're landing a crit. So there are obvious different reasons that you do use this one here, but this is more of your everyday type DPS stat, and we are getting a free weapon for this as well. Then we have the other weapon being the jet black sword and shield that I'm wearing currently, aka the sword and shield class. Now this one is more than likely going to be a class that we're using maybe when we get like maybe Escanor or some characters that are truly going to utilize the fire side and we need a taunter, right? This class here, you're able to of course give yourself a barrier with the ground ignition stat here, which is based on her max HP, pretty darn good, especially for anyone who needs that extra shield. Her other one here is more of a stance that she's allowed to take. It does taunt nearby enemies and reflects the attack on back, which is great as well. This is going to be a good move if you really want to get some damage off while also still protecting yourself a little bit here. And then we have Radiant Explosion being the ultimate skill here, where she increases her fire damage taken by enemies in the said range. So she's just dealing a lot of fire damage in general. Now this one, I've tried it a little bit. I don't really like it all too much, although it is of course a really good class. I personally don't like it because I don't use a lot of like, what's it called? Shielding type characters, especially since I'm more of a person who I don't really like all the attention being on me as a taunter. There's nothing I really want to use with this class, though it is still insanely good. Now both of these weapons, as you can see, we have the DPS, we have the taunter, do have their specialties, which is pretty darn good. But the one that I do feel like is the best is going to be the rapier, and the main reason for this is because she acts more of a buffer and debuffer combined here. And what I mean by this here, buffer wise, you're technically helping out your fire damaging characters who need a fire gauge due to the actual passive that she does have. Now the passive that she has is called Prominence here, and this increases your burst gauge by 30 each time you use a normal attack on a burned enemy. Well, here's the cool part. This character is consistently burning enemies, and if you are utilizing like a character such as Tristan, you're going to be even more so burning the enemy quite easily and making them take more damage. Remember, using the dual sword Tristan is going to allow you to decrease the enemy's fire resistance, so all you would have to do is smack them with those 2 skills, allowing your burst gauge to increase, and then let Guila do the rest of the job. By going ahead and utilizing this, including with her passive, she's dealing a ton to at least get up that burst bar, which is all you need for Meliodas, especially if you are using him in the backline. This is a really cool one, to be honest, because you're obviously taking down the defense reduction, or at least the defense percentage of the enemy here by defense reducting them if you are in the demon form, but if you're not, you're still getting your burns, which is absolutely more perfect. She has another skill which is called the Blazing Thrust here. This one also does increase your burst gauge, so you can see everything is revolved around the burst gauge here, and which is really good. As long as you do have a burn on the enemy, this burst gauge is going to go up really quickly. And honestly, if you're in the demon form, which you're probably never going to be in the demon form if I'm being honest with this here, you're going to increase the burn duration. This will make it so you can actually deal some decent DOT damage, which is pretty darn nice. Now, if you're using her anything like me with this team that I'm currently using, being Tristan, Guila, of course, Tiore, and Meliodas, you're going to try and mainly have her with some small DOT effects, but mainly just proccing off that burst. Quicker we proc off that burst, if we're using the dual swords with our Meliodas, obviously we can get some really good damage in. If we're using the axe with our Meliodas, we can get a really good burst hit in here, and it's going to be really nice to actually utilize with the said character. So I took some time and I went ahead and I actually got this character on up a little bit. She isn't the best, of course, right now. I still do have a lot of these to go through, but I'm currently building multiple characters at the moment. So I'm working on her, but I'm also working on Manny at the same time. So I'm a little bit in the pickle. So you have to give me a little bit of time to actually thoroughly build this character. But other than that, she's actually pretty darn good. And you don't even need to buff her if you don't want to, because all she's here for is to go ahead, put on those two little debuffs after, of course, your Tristan, and just normal attack spam till you get that set burst. Now, if you are a person who are interested in these skins, remember, skins are lovely cosmetics, but if you do go ahead and decide to make one of them, do keep in mind that both of her skins are not going to be for the rapier set. This one is actually for the lance, and the other skin is actually going to be for her other weapon as well, being the sword and shield. Both of them are in their own right very good. I just wanted some more HP here to make sure my team was good and tanky, allowing me to go ahead and do whatever I wanted in the long run. So both of these skins kind of mediocre here, to be honest, for her rapier set, but you can still use them to get some decent things on off here as well, which will be really good. But we're gonna go ahead and showcase exactly how this does work and how quick she can really do this here. So one of the few things that I've been fighting alone has been the Guila fight on Hell, which has been pretty darn good. I think you guys saw some clips of that last one, but I do want to fight this guy here as well, being Orgun. Now, or Orgots, I think his name is here. Now, he is pretty darn good to go against as well, because he allows me to actually show you guys this off properly. And for a lot of you guys, I feel like this will be a very easy one. Now, if you wanted a rotation that I do go in here, I usually use my Q and E first, then I swap into Guila, going ahead using her E and Q, which are also a really good thing to go ahead and do here. Now, in this whole lineup as well, Tiore won't be attacking all too much for filling up your burst gauge. In fact, she's only going to be your healer. So whenever you do need a heal, it's always great to have. You can always swap Tiore on out, but do remember that if we are using Tristan, he is making it so we can get up that gauge even quicker based on the amount of fire units we have in our party. So let's go ahead and do this. Move out of the way here and then start the fun here. So as you can see, we're already at that half point. We use those two skills, and if we keep on clicking, we will have our burst gauge in no time pretty much. So as you see, automatic burst, meaning guess what? Meliodas can come on out here. We're gonna go ahead and do something like this, charge on up, bonk bonk, get one slap in, get the second slap in, and he had to dodge that second one, which is stuck here. But once again, now we're back at square one, and you would think we won't get this back in time, right? Wrong, because at this point in time, Guila's gonna go ahead and pop this on off, pop this back off, and we get that burst gauge really quick here, just from basically just spamming our burst gauge here. So that's gonna be great for us, meaning we can just dish out damage over and over again with Meliodas whenever we want to. And remember, it takes a while to actually get rid of your burst gauge, especially if you have not done anything with it. So on the off chance that you find something like this that really does take some time to do, you'll be able to go ahead and run it out, do what you want, boom, boom, get some nice damage off here, and then restart your whole rotation again. This is something I found to be very fun in doing, because at this point in time, I can do whatever I want and I can just build up anything I really want to build here, which is great because at this point in time, no matter what you do, you're getting that form on back. And as you see, we don't even have to use our heals right now. We can just go ahead and do this, get another charge on in, bonk, bonk, 1 hit, 2 hit, boom, get some decent damage in immediately there. And I'm actually going to go for a little bit of a greedy play here. Get another hit, and then nice. Keep on doing your little swap combo, which is perfectly good for you, making sure you dodge everything you need to dodge here. And I actually accidentally did my other one too fast, so that was my mistake there. But as you see, he's back low again. No big deal. We can go ahead and swap on in again. Boom. Deal some good old damage. And I'm actually just going to wait because I do want to do this as well. Hit him with this. Mink, mink here. Get 1 hit. Get the 2nd hit. And he's down. So this is actually, in fact, perfect. And that was actually a slower run because I didn't hit a lot of my crits on my ults there. But she just makes it so Meliodas, especially with the axe form, just is out there 24/7, dealing as much damage as he can deal. The more times that axe form can come on out, the better damage you can get on out as well. Now, it does work with dual swords Meliodas too. If you want to get your actual burst pretty darn quick, you can get it up, and then with Meliodas's Q attack, being able to extend said burst here, you can consecutively get that burst up and keep it there for a long time until it officially runs out, meaning infinite healing and tons of just slashes for damage, which is always a great thing. I do think overall, Guila is honestly way better than I expected at the beginning. At the beginning of the game, I looked at her, I'm like, okay, her kit is pretty darn good. She just was more of an all-rounder that was kind of meh to me. But after actually using every last one of the parts of her kit, even though I'm not upgrading any of their weapons, I don't know if any of you guys caught that yet, because yeah, I'm low on mats. But if out of all of them that I ended up testing, this one feels just right. Okay, if I wanted some more defense, obviously I would go with sword and shield, but the rapier is definitely the way to go for me. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out quite a lot here. Y'all have been absolutely supporting this as much as possible. And next week, we're going to start trying to deviate a little bit with our live streams. Still going to be doing these pretty often. I'm trying to get a schedule kind of made for you guys so you know when I'm going to be doing my schedules for helping out people. But it's going to be crazy interesting. By the time you see this video, I might be live, so catch me on live if you do want me to go ahead and do a couple carries, and it'll be fun because we can officially carry every last hell except for the spider dungeon. We do need you to be a little bit stronger there. But until then, everybody, thank you for watching, and peace on out.